What's behind the overall growth in membership and subscriptions?
Sure. Well, happy early Valentine's Day. This is a great time to be in the love business for many reasons. We really are seeing tremendous growth from Tinder. And then as we have released and talked about, we have some other exciting bets brewing. So not only is Tinder seeing momentum, but we've got a whole host of other products across the globe that we leverage as well. So we're feeling pretty good about the upcoming year.
Yeah, you have sort of products that cater to different demographics, different age groups. Can you talk a little bit about how you're using those to maximize your exposure?
Sure. I mean, the first thing I'd say is that we see that now more people use multiple apps at one time. So between 3 and 4 apps people are using when they're dating. And so we want to be able to service all their needs. We also see that people use different dating apps based on their age and life stage, whether you're a 50-year-old divorcee or a 21-year-old who is a college senior. And so we feel like across the board, both domestically and internationally, we've got opportunity to serve a lot of people.
Mandy, clear this up for me on your business model. I've been happily married for more than 10 years, so I'm clueless about this sort of thing. It's a little weird Googling Tinder as much as I did this morning.
Your search engine doesn't show that, though. Your search results show something different.
This morning, my search activity is a little weird. Sorry, honey. I want to ask about the difference between Tinder Plus and Tinder Gold. The way I understand it, Tinder Plus was more of a $10 to $20 a month thing, depending on how old you were. Tinder Gold is $5 a month, and Gold has just been growing gangbusters for you guys. Does that mean you were kind of overpriced in the premium area before, or is there something I'm missing?
So I'll explain how it works. Well, I have to say, because you said you've been married a long time, what's shocking is that over 10 years ago, 3% of relationships started online. Now it's 30% in this country. And so the world really has changed. And this is the #1 way that people meet. And we think those numbers are going to, the numbers I just quoted are probably more similar outside the U.S., but we think there's going to be real growth opportunity. In terms of our business model, it's simple. You can go on Tinder and you can get a great free experience, but we offer features that you don't mind paying for. So we had Plus, which was a subscription feature that enabled you to access a number of our premium features. And then about a year and a half ago, we introduced something called Gold, which essentially gives you the ability to see who's liked you. And if someone says to you, do you want to see all the women who've liked you or all the men who've liked you? It's very hard to say no. And we saw that the take rate on that Gold or likes you feature was really high. And that was priced at an even higher premium, another subscription tier. So what we saw is that not only were people happy to pay more for this feature, but we just saw more people taking the feature. And that's what's really driven a lot of the growth.
And your company says that half of the singles in the United States have never tried a dating app. That number is 2/3 globally. What's standing in the way? I mean, if 30% of marriages started with an online date, an online match somehow, what's standing in the way of convincing these other half of single people to try it?
I hope nothing. I think, honestly, it's like over time, I think we'll see much more adoption. I mean, even 2012, only 16% of people in their young 20s, 18 to 25, use dating apps. And Tinder really changed that. It brought a whole new generation to the category. And we believe that a lot of what's actually keeping that number down, especially internationally, is stigma. A market like Japan we've been in for a long time, but there's been, I think, real sort of cultural stigma around dating. That's changing, and that's changing fast. Now more and more people are trying.
On your call, sorry, but Mandy, you said on your call you thought Facebook could help you overcome that.
Well, I think there's a couple things. I said two things. Facebook entered the category, in the dating category, and because of their reach, I said there is a possibility that Facebook could open up in areas where where they have real strong strength, where people who hadn't thought about dating might try dating. We have not seen any impact since Facebook has launched in the 3 markets that they've tested in our products. But I do think over time people are going to feel much more comfortable, and that the normalization of dating and meeting strangers to go for a cup of coffee is going to really become much more pervasive everywhere.
Hey, Mandy, I'm curious, I mean, in that 10 years of growth that you talk about, how much has been driven by apps that are tailored for basically women to make the decisions about who they might date?
So if you think about the Match Group products, I mean, the one that sort of stands out is Tinder, and the scale that Tinder had is in a league of its own. It went viral with very little marketing spend in millions and millions of, 190 countries and millions of users across the globe. So we haven't seen anything quite like it. There have been competitors that come into the market, a lot of them like local players, but really that has not driven market growth. What's really driven market growth is things like the introduction of mobile. And also, a few years ago, we saw when 50-plus audience, when they started getting much more comfortable using social, just socializing with people online, they also, that category grew. So the more people feel comfortable, the higher propensity. And we feel like we're in a great position to be able to address needs for everyone.